Kenya's husband Marc Daly sets the record straight on health code violation rumors. Nene Leakes wants to bring Kim Zolciak back to The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Love is Blind's Carlton Morton appeared on Real Housewives of Atlanta before and actually fought with Kenya Moore. And Kandi Burruss just bagged her 5th spinoff on Bravo, and things are looking official. It's Justin Diego back with another binge-worthy video, and this is Leftovers, a new series where I talk about trending topics that were not hot enough for a standalone video, but are still worth sharing. Before I get into these stories, I would like to put out a disclaimer. Please do not send any hate to Marc Daly, Kenya Moore, Nene Leakes, Kim Zolciak, Carlton Morton, Kandi Burruss, or anyone else mentioned in these stories. This video is simply meant to report on the news and give some insight on the situation. It has been a long, tough week for both Kenya Moore and her husband Marc Daly. After The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 16, left fans completely disgusted at Marc's behavior.
I wouldn't give a damn what Marlo was doing. I would be pissed off at my husband.
And a Housewives fan chimed in on Twitter saying, "I'm still mad that Marc treated Kenya like that in front of the world. And she didn't even say anything or tell his to shut the F up, exclamation point. Disappointed is not even the word." Before another fan said, "Kenya is better than me. I would have been cussed Marc's the out. He irks my nerves every time they show him." I felt that one a little bit too much in my soul, prompting him to issue an apology on social media. And while I'm sure backlash from Housewives fans is not at the top of anyone's list of life goals, after allegedly being cited 28 health code violations at his restaurant in Brooklyn, it is clear that Kenya's husband Marc has bigger problems to worry about. According to Bossip, inspectors from New York City's health department performed a routine probe on the Southern Fusion restaurant on February 13th and found quite a few things that were not up to par. Allegedly, food wasn't being properly protected from sources of contamination, code food items weren't being refrigerated at appropriate temperatures, there was evidence of mice in the kitchen or the dining area, and they are alleging that live roaches were present in the kitchen or the dining area.
Roaches, when the lights come out. Roaches! Jesus Christ.
Well, apparently the story was not true, and Marc Daly's restaurant, SoCo, is setting the record straight on Instagram, captioning the post saying, "For the haters spreading false news, PSA, we have maintained our A for many years. Our staff is amazing. SoCo standards have always been upheld. Please stop spreading fake rumors about a successful Black-owned business, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point." Yeah, I'm glad that they officially spoke up to debunk these rumors because, child, I love a good oxtail, but I ain't looking for any mice tails with roach egg curry anytime soon. Now, before I move on, I have to say, Precious left me dying of laughter after she left this comment on my last video, talking about, "That's why Kenya called the health inspector on his bloop." Kenya was like, "Marc gonna learn today!" exclamation point with the crying laughing face emojis. You've met Ken, but I'm gonna introduce you to Kenya. She's a shade assassin and she keeps karma on speed down, exclamation point. Hashtag Team Twirl. And I'm just like, Team Twirl, why are we like this? Do you believe these allegations are actually false about Marc's restaurant? And if you've ever been to his restaurant, comment below and let us know what is your favorite dish. Speaking of roaches, on last week's episode of Watch What Happens Live, Real Housewives of Atlanta stars Nene Leakes and Marlo Hampton graced us with their presence on the couch.
What do you hope is brought up or addressed at the reunion? Is there anything specific?
Everything, honey, everything. It's gonna be read session time.
And while the episode was full of shade, it was really this shocking revelation about Nene and Kim that left me shook.
Who from the past would you bring back? Yeah.
I bring back Kim because, you know, she's an OG and I'm always here for the OG.
Here's the thing, everybody needs an enemy on a show like this, but nobody likes an enemy that they just cannot handle. And I really think that that's where the problem really lies with Nene and Kenya. On the one hand, Nene understands that drama is good for the show, But she probably doesn't like how unpredictable Kenya is, or how Kenya never calls off the cavalry when Nene has had too much. Yes, I think Nene and Kim's beefs were always good enough for TV, but they were always able to squash them to make room for those precious moments that the fans loved, where we get to see them like on good terms and like really pretending to be good friends. However, after Roachgate during season 10, I really didn't think that Kim was ever going to be able to recover with Nene because that fight was just way too much.
Alright, so this just said, Nene is sick and disgusting. She lives in a f***ing roach nest?
She in my bathroom.
What in the world?
Either way, I'm surprised that Nene shared that she's been in conversations with Kim, and I'm definitely shook that Nene would actually bring Kim Zolciak back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta if she could. Do you really think that Nene and Kim are the best Real Housewives of Atlanta duo to ever do it? And tell me if you are surprised that Nene wants Kim back on the show. I think Love is Blind on Netflix was one of the best new reality shows I've seen in a while, and I especially loved that it was filmed right here in the A. Fun fact, I did a little digging and I found out that apparently the apartment that the couples are housed in is right down the street from me at Spectrum on Spring in Midtown. Yes, the couples are living their best lives rent-free on Netflix's dime. Anyways, I absolutely fell in love with Lauren and Cameron, and I would definitely like to wish everyone the very, very best. Except you, Jessica.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Not you. You can choke.
Speaking of digging, this guy on Twitter was all of us when he discovered that our Carlton from that iconic Real Housewives of Atlanta scene with Kenya Moore was the same Carlton who was searching for love on Netflix.
This is their first time
Yes,
modeling.
you need
I don't
to-
think that
you
you
need
should
to
be
stop.
like
Excuse
wearing
me,
them
who
out.
are you and why are you
No,
talking to me? Who
I
are
work for
you
the
and
Baylor
why are you
agency.
talking to
Who
me?
are you? Because I've never met you, dear.
Bitch, please.
I mean, I hope y'all knew that from the very beginning, but if y'all didn't, I'll give y'all a pass.
And all of a sudden, this big guy rolls up on Carlton, who's like a twig.
She got loud with me because of one of my coworkers.
He works for the school.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, clearly Carlton Morton is no stranger to reality TV drama, but I feel like this show was not a good look for his image. This is a tricky thing to discuss, so I'll definitely try to keep it cute, but I feel like I have way too many sisters and way too many female binge watchers to act like I respect or condone what happened between he and Diamond. Were you shocked to see Carlton on Love is Blind after his appearance on RHOA? And let me know in the comments if you are looking forward to Love is Blind Season 2. At this point, I am not understanding why Kandi hasn't officially left Real Housewives of Atlanta for her own permanent show, because earlier this week, I learned from Straight from the A that Kandi Burruss has landed another spinoff on Bravo. Appropriately titled Old Lady Gang, this new series was recently granted permission to begin production according to the Georgia Film Office. And while we can't be certain of the show's format or what the show is going to be about, judging by the name, it's safe to assume that it's going to be centered around Kandi's popular restaurant franchise, the OLG. And we can expect to see appearances from Mama Joyce, Aunt Nora, and Aunt Bertha. Old Lady Gang will be the fourth spinoff for Kandi on Bravo since she joined the show in 2009. The other four were The Kandi Factory, in which she sought potential music stars, Kandi's Wedding, which she focused on her marriage with Tide, and Kandi's Ski Trip, which was a one-off surrounding her epic family vacation. And her last special was titled Kandi Coded Nights. And for those of y'all looking at me crazy and giving me all kinds of side-eye right now, you better stay woke because I see some major potential here. If they play their cards right, this next spinoff could be really, really good for both Kandi and Bravo. All they really have to do is echo the former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Lisa Vanderpump and how she did her restaurant spinoff series Vanderpump Rules, which has now gone on for 8 seasons and 146 episodes. And honestly, if they come up with a really good cast and some really authentic storylines, I think Atlanta could obviously give the world a Vanderpump Rules with a lot more soul. Would you rather this be a 3 or 4 episode special that airs after Real Housewives of Atlanta wraps? Or do you think that it's time for Kandi to finally break off and do her own thing? Thank you so much for watching these binge-worthy leftovers. If you're excited about getting more binge-worthy content like this, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to my channel right now, because I know a lot of you guys are actually not subscribed yet, and you are just sitting over there leaving your fate in the YouTube algorithm's hands, but do not do me like that. Let's make things official so that I can keep the lights on over here. Thanks again so much for watching this video. I will catch you roaches on the next one.